Picture this: a Saturday morning, so crisp you can almost taste the clean air. Sun pouring gold all over the place, the smell of cut grass rolling off every yard like some kind of patriotic cologne. And there I am, just me and my trusty old lawnmower Betsy, pushing stripes into the front yard, loving the predictability of it all. My name's Marcus, by the way. I like my coffee slow, my weekends slower, and my family close by. Lena, my wife. She's inside, probably dancing with a laundry basket, humming along to old soul records, while our kids, Ethan 10 and Zoe 7, are sprawled out in the driveway, locked in a serious chalk art showdown that'll last until one of them runs out of blue. Honestly, it felt like one of those moments you'd see in a cheesy sitcom where everything is a little too perfect until it isn't. I'm halfway done with the yard when I catch a shadow stretching across the grass, not the kind you want either. I glance up, expecting to see Mr. Torres from next door, maybe coming to chat about the ball game or borrow a trimmer. Nope. It's a woman, broad-shouldered and squeezed into a police uniform that looks like it's about to give up. Blonde hair scraped back tight enough to pull her whole face into a permanent frown. Sunglasses hiding her eyes. But nothing could hide that mouth, a thin line screaming, "Not here to be your friend." Officer Brenda Clean, as her name tag glared. She barely waits for me to shut off Betsy before she barks out, "You need to stop this immediately." So I do. I let the silence fill up cricket's chalk, scraping the kids' whispers. I ask, real polite problem officer, trying to keep it easy, even though something about her says this isn't just about my lawn. She steps in way too close. Her breath is stale coffee mixed with drugstore lavender, and I'm already regretting not just ignoring her. "We've had complaints," she says, puffing up like a peacock. "Your lawn maintenance is provocative." Provocative, I blink. It's grass, not performance art. Complaints about what I press, keeping my tone smooth because I know what's coming. She rattles off a list. My mowing lines are aggressive, the noise is excessive, and here's the kicker: your presence is making some long-term residents uneasy. There it is. Not the grass, not the noise, it's me. Marcus. A black man with a mortgage and a family, mowing his own yard. We've lived here 6 years, but to some folks, we're still just visitors. I look her dead in the eye, well, her sunglasses anyway, and say I'm on my own property, exercising my rights. If there's a law against my mowing patterns, show it to me. By now, Ethan and Zoe are at the porch, eyes big as moons. Lena's at the screen door, her mouth tight. Clean's hand drops to her belt like I just pulled a knife. "Are you questioning my authority?" she snaps. "Your attitude is a public nuisance." I swear you could see the veins pulsing in her neck. "Ma'am," I say, keeping my voice low because my kids are watching, "you're accusing me of mowing provocatively, and let's be honest, implying my race is the issue. That's not just wrong, it's illegal." She goes beet red, but instead of backing off, she lunges. That's it. She shrieks, grabbing my arm so hard I almost drop. "You're under arrest for disorderly conduct and resisting." I'm not moving, not fighting because I know better, but she's stronger than she looks. Lena's gasping. My kids are crying, and neighbors' blinds are twitching as Clean twists my arm and clamps on the cuffs, metal biting into my wrists, every click burning into my memory. She hauls me to her cruiser, slams me in the back, leans in close, and hisses, "You think you're clever? I've got friends. Judge Harlan Voss, you'll learn your place." Her breath is pure threat. She's not a cop. She's a bully with a badge. All I can think about is my sister's husband, Captain Greg Hayes, a real cop, the kind who'd lose his mind if he saw this. But I keep my mouth shut, knowing one wrong word could blow up the whole block. 3 hours later, Greg does storm in like a force of nature, all suit and fury. I'm released, no charges, just a smudge on my spirit and a video on Lena's phone that shows Clean's temper and my calm. At home, Zoe won't let go of me. Ethan keeps asking why Officer Clean hates our grass. What do you say to that? How do you teach your kid what bigotry looks like? That night, Lena and I talk until our throats hurt. It's not just one bad cop, it's something rot deep, and I'm done waiting for it to fix itself. Clean doesn't back off. Now she parks her cruiser across our driveway some mornings, glaring, sometimes scribbling citations, trash cans out too long, Lena's sunflowers blocking the view. She wants to make us feel small. Neighbors like Mr. Torres and Mrs. Callahan quietly offer support. They've got stories of their own about Clean's power trips. She's a community liaison, whatever that means, but to most, she's a menace. Some say she even lives nearby, treating the whole neighborhood like her fiefdom. Greg warns me her ties to Judge Voss run deep, so deep, even a slap on the wrist from her boss barely slows her down. Well, I'm an engineer. I solve problems. I set up cameras, high-def pointed at every angle, start logging every clean sighting, wear a body cam when I mow. I dig into her history. Turns out Officer Clean's been shuffled around 15 years, transferred after patrol issues, always landing just out of trouble. Her connection to Voss is the only thing keeping her in blue. I start building a case, stacking evidence like bricks, and then she goes too far. One afternoon, I come home to find Lena crying in the yard, sunflowers hacked to stumps. Clean's left a notice hazardous obstruction, she claims. Ethan, overhearing, says he heard her mutter, "This'll teach their kind about proper gardening." Then, just to twist the knife, CPS shows up anonymous tip about neglect. Our house is spotless, kids thriving, but someone's using the system to threaten us, that someone's wearing a badge. That's it. I put together a dossier, my affidavit, Lena's video, Ethan's statement photos of the ruined flowers, every citation. Mr. Torres gives me his story, how Clean tried to fine him for his unseemly mailbox. Mrs. Callahan's got a saga about squirrel feeders. Greg puts me in touch with a civil rights attorney, Mr. Leonard Tate, one of those lawyers who makes the city council sweat. Tate fires off a letter threatening a lawsuit for racial harassment and abuse of power, and we take it up the ladder to Internal Affairs City Council, anyone who'll listen. I show up to a neighborhood meeting where Clean's ranting about property values and flower beds. I stand up and ask loud enough for everyone to hear, "What's the process for dealing with an officer who abuses their authority?" The room goes quiet. Then stories start spilling. Turns out I'm not alone. We build a coalition quietly, steadily. But the big twist comes when my cameras catch Clean herself riding shotgun in a ratty old van, directing a guy in overalls to slap fake beautification notices on my mailbox, complaining it doesn't match the neighborhood's aesthetic. Now it's just sloppy. We add it all to the pile, video timestamps, neighbors' testimonies. Tate delivers a 70-page dossier to Internal Affairs, copies to Councilwoman Rivera and the mayor. Rivera actually calls me, promises to press the police chief herself. When the city attorney's office sees our evidence, they start talking settlement. Suddenly, Clean's cruiser is nowhere to be seen. Something's got her on a leash. But I keep my cameras rolling, keep my guard up, because this isn't just about us anymore. 2 months later, Internal Affairs calls me in. Captain Morrow and Lieutenant Chen go over everything, especially the van stunt, Ethan's story, the CPS call. The pattern is impossible to deny. At her disciplinary hearing, Clean's defiant blames me, blames the neighbors, says we're conspiring. But no one's buying it. Faced with termination, she resigns tail tucked. Her career done. The city settles an official apology from the chief, compensation for what we went through, and new reforms in the Harmony Division. Even Judge Voss distances himself. His name can't survive the stink. The neighborhood changes. Lena's new sunflowers bloom brighter. Ethan and Zoe draw chalk murals in the driveway, and for the first time, no one's watching us through the blinds. The air feels lighter. That's my real win. Not because I shouted or got ugly, but because I built something real, brick by brick, fact by fact, and toppled a bully who thought she was untouchable. Ever gone toe-to-toe with someone who thought they owned you just because of a badge or a title? How did you handle it? Drop your story below. I want to hear how you fought back, or what you think real justice looks like in a place like this. Let's talk about it.